Hey, what's going on? JD here. I just want to do a quick race recap. If you enjoy these, let me know because I will do some more. But basically, we're going to look at Beach Party Stage 4 Turf and Surf. This is me in category C. This is my fourth race since upgrading. I appreciate all the support that everybody has given me during the live streams. I just want to shout out to Lisi Cycling. You can check out his YouTube channel. He does Zwift races as well as check out Alex Milan. He's there every time showing me support. Greatly appreciate it. And then we've got Peter, who is in this race showing me how it's done in Cat C. Now, this was a very competitive race. Starting out, always a bit of an effort for me. My main goal for most of these races is stay with the main group as long as possible. Now, I've had two relative successes, one even with a mechanical, a third race that was a disaster when I had steering go off and all that kind of stuff. So I want to kind of redeem myself here. But this thing goes out at a blistering pace. Now, for bike choice, I went with the Felt AR. It is an aero bike. It's up there with a Cervelo S5. One of the qualities that this bike has is it is a little bit lighter, so I do find that when there is a little bit of climbing involved, and there is definitely climbing involved in this course, that is going to be beneficial. And that with the DT Swiss Arc 62 die-cut discs, again, they're a well-balanced aero wheel, but they are a bit lighter, so in the climbs, you will have a little bit more get up and go. And because where the climbing occurs in this race, that will become important. So the basics of this route, we're looking at 24.6 kilometers overall. We're looking at a climb elevation of 195.8 meters. The lead-in is 0.07 kilometers, and it takes place on the Mikura Island map. There are a couple sprint segments, and the first of them are coming up here, the alley sprint. It's about a 0.5 kilometer segment, but there's no points for that, so no need to worry. We're just about to go through the banner. You have the opportunity to get either the Ghost or Feather. In my case, I got the Ghost. Not terribly useful for me, and overall, I think if you're going to get a power-up here, I think you really kind of want to get the Feather, mainly because you're not going to get the opportunity for another power-up for quite a while. The Sisha sprint isn't till just after 17 kilometers at the top of the climb, and you're going to want to hold on to that. This route is pretty flat. There is a downhill just going into about the 10K mark, and ultimately you're going to want to use that Feather for the climb, which is quite a distance away. And probably if you're going to launch an attack on this course, because it is super fast, and you can see we are kind of cooking here, that you're going to utilize that as well when it comes to the hill. So I managed to stay with this main group for quite a while. Again, the course is flat. It's suited to me. It's not a huge deal. I feel quite comfortable going at this pace, and it's not causing me any real problems. I'm just kind of sticking in the draft, conserving as much energy as possible. You can see I haven't used the Ghost at all. We start to hit off-road, hit a little bit of sand and dirt. Everybody's pretty much sticking together until we get to this point coming up, and then things change just a little bit. Now, as we make this right-hand turn, it's good. Things are going to kick up a little bit. It's going to hit about 5%. I'm still in the top 20-some guys here. I'm in the lead pack. It's all good. We are working, but we do have a guy in the group, a guy by the name of Eddie Baker, who just came back after a few weeks off. He got downclassed from B. That's unbeknownst to me at this point. And he is a strong rider. At the end of the race, he had a 3.5 watts per kilogram, and that's probably why this race was going as fast as it was. Definitely having the pace pushed. But you can see here, I'm at the front of the group. Not a problem at this point, but when it starts kicking up here, there are a little bit of fireworks. Again, I'm just trying to conserve that little bit of energy and just make myself last as long as possible in this main group. And at this point too, we're 11.7 kilometers into the race, and I feel like that it's possible for me. I've done it before. I've stayed till the end, and while I may have not had anything for the sprint, we managed to stay in there, which is an accomplishment for me. So at this point, I'm feeling good, but you can start to see it now. We're starting to dip down. We hit this wooden bridge, and things are getting a little bit spread out. I'm falling towards the back, and that's when it starts to kick up. And we put in a little bit of a dig here. We're going up. We're over 4.5 watts a kilo, which is, it's going to take a little bit out of me, but I'm managing to stay there. But you can see the front is slowly pulling away, some other people putting down some power, and you can see the group is really getting stretched out. Here I am. I'm still 4 watts a kilo, and I'm hanging on to the back, and it's like super stretched out. You can see there are people probably a second or two ahead, but I don't feel like it's terribly in danger. I know that I've got to work a little bit. I can see the gaps starting to form. I'm speeding up. I'm trying to keep up, and we have a little bit of a dip, and then we have that little bit of a break. So in 22nd position, we can see they're going. I'm digging a bit. We've got some other guys digging a bit. I've got my head down. I am working. I am trying my hardest to get back. And this is probably where the recent upgrade hurt me the most, in the sense that I have the power to kind of keep up, but when I need that extra 100 or so watts to get back onto the end of things, it's just not there. So I kind of just try to keep with these guys, this group of 4 or 5 guys, settle in a bit, conserve a little bit more energy. You can see I'm just wiping the sweat from my brow. I'm starting to work. It's starting to heat up, but that gap's becoming a few seconds. I could try to bridge, but I know what the result of that is going to be. I'm going to burn a match, and then ultimately I'm going to get sucked back into this group anyways. So I want to be a little bit more tactical. I want to kind of try to stay in these guys' drafts and not work as hard. And that's something that, since the upgrade, that I have definitely had to work on. A lot of times I will push the front, and I probably shouldn't be there. I should be sitting back in the pack, conserving my energy. So that's kind of the strategy here. Stick with these 4 or 5 guys, and hopefully either we pick up some more stragglers or somebody tries to bridge and ultimately catch up. And we see a bit too, we'll see some efforts to kind of go forward and bridge that gap, but I'm going to just try to stick in there for as long as possible. So this little group sticks together. We kind of work together. We're not losing tons of distance, but enough. And then we hit the base of the climb at about 14.6 kilometers. So this climb's about 1.5 kilometers long, and this is where you're going to start to see the attacks and more breaks happen. We can see a couple guys go off the front. Now, I don't know if their intention was to bridge the gap between the group ahead and themselves. I'm going to try to stick with them as best that I can. It's taken a lot of effort to keep up here. You can see the group. There are some stragglers there, and the gap is closing up. So a little bit of a dig here to try to get back. We see this guy deploy the feather. And again, people are starting to push. But I'm telling you right now, for me, being new to Cat C, at this point, I am hurting a lot. Climbing is not my forte, and maintaining good speed on these things just doesn't work. We just blow past somebody there that stopped. I'm not sure why. Again, you can see things starting to get stretched out even more in the group, and we continue to go gangbusters on this climb. But I'm telling you right now that I am hurting, and these guys are slowly pulling away. There's about a second or two gap ahead. There's about 1 guy with me, and then there's a second or 2 behind. It's really creating a split in this secondary group. It's just kind of blowing it apart, and I'm watching these guys get further and further away. I'm trying to push, but I just don't have the power that these guys have. but I continue to go. And that's the thing I enjoy about this kind of racing. And this is what I enjoy about the live streams, is that you guys are there cheering me on, and I can always kind of get a little bit more out of myself just because I know people are watching, and I know that there is no way that I'm going to quit this race. I'm going to keep on going and give the best effort I can no matter what place I finish in. Now you can see these guys are about 4 seconds ahead. They're really going off into the distance now. And the guy behind me is about 3 seconds. So I'm really in no man's land, but I'm going to work anyways. It doesn't matter. We're going to keep on going. And again, this climb is going to end shortly. So by the end of the climb, the guys in front have put about 9 seconds into me. There is no way I'm catching up. And the guys behind me have actually started to catch up because I am starting to burn out sitting there in no man's land. We come up to the second sprint here. Again, it's your opportunity to get a ghost or a feather. In my case, again, I pull the ghost. So we're going to keep on going. One of the guys pulls ahead. I try to latch on here, and we have another guy that utilized his ghost as well, side by side. So it's good. I've got some people that I can sit in, relax, gain a little bit of energy back, and just sort of pace them. And hopefully we're going to close down that gap again. So that's not all the climbing done. We've done 109 meters. As I mentioned, it's 195, so there's about 100 meters to go. That's going to come up. That's going to come back with the pain cave or the pain cavern, whatever you want to call it, the last climb. And if you're up in the main group or any group, that is where you're going to probably win or lose it, because that is the last climb, and then it's a short distance to the finish. I think it's going to get blown apart there if it hasn't been blown apart already. So we keep working here, and we're heading towards the next climb. We actually managed to close down the gap on a few people and catch a couple others. I'm probably putting in a little bit more of an effort than I really want to at this point, but I don't want to lose these guys, because if I do, it's going to be a lot of trouble. And then we hit the final climb. It's about 21.4 kilometers. We start climbing. You can see straight into 5%, the pain cavern. This is where it's all going to happen. Now, for me, I just kind of, again, want to stick in. I want to stick with whoever I can, the fastest guy. I don't want to lose anybody. I know that I'm not gaining a great deal of draft, but there are portions, like you can see it drops down here to 1%, where draft is going to matter. So I want to make sure that I'm sticking with these guys, so I am utilizing my energy wisely. But you can see somebody's popped the feather. They're pushing. This is a longer climb. You're going to find that you probably want to save that for a little bit later and probably push things over the top, would be my guess. That would be my strategy if I was in the lead group. But here I am sitting with a ghost. We're not going to get any assistance here other than these guys. And you're going to see some pushes and some pullbacks and all that kind of stuff as we go. You can see I'm out of the saddle here as these guys are trying to push ahead. I don't want to let them go, because to be honest, I set goals, and if you were in the chat, you will see the guys were pushing for a top 20 finish, and that's what I want to do. I want to get the best result possible. Even though I am not racing for first place in these categories, I can set goals, and they can change and be adjusted throughout the race. And in this case, I want to beat who's in this group. I want to come first out of this group. And you can see that puts me in at least a top 20 position. So that's what we're going for. So we continue going. This climb ends at 23.7 kilometers. You can see somebody deploys the feather, and we continue to push. Now in this section here, there's a little bit of a reprieve. Being a puncher, if I was racing, this is probably where I would put in my big dig or utilize my ghost. I would probably punch really hard here if I had anything left in the tank, which I really kind of don't. I am just kind of hanging on at this point. You can see I'm grimacing in my face as we come to the top, and it sort of evens out. And we've got about 0.9 kilometers to the finish line. So basically what I'm doing here is conserving my energy for the sprint. Again, you might want to plan your attack a little bit better. You utilize the ghost, get ahead, slip away, push hard, but you don't want to drag people with you as well. So you got to be really kind of careful what you do here. So you can see things are slowing right down. We're playing a little bit of games, 118 watts. We're barely doing anything. We got a little bit of a 1% kick, and we're at 0.7, 0.6. Now, usually I like to launch about 0.6, 0.5, at the latest, kind of 0.4. But I'm tired here. We hit 0.5. I'm thinking about it. The guy's ahead. I'm kind of waiting for him to push off, but he's just kind of sitting there. The guys are behind me. And I think about deploying my ghost here, and ultimately I think I just threw it in the trash. It didn't work. I didn't see myself flash, so I don't know if I'm invisible at this point or not. I don't know if it was a glitch in the game. There you can see it just completely disappears. So I'm starting to go here. I'm starting to wind things up, and then we can see these two guys go. I don't think the ghost was present. When those two guys go past, all I'm doing is now I'm putting it down. I'm trying to catch back up. Unfortunately, I left it a little bit too late, so they pass over. I hit 20th place, so I reach my goal, which is good, my secondary goal, because I think at the beginning of the thing I said top 10, and ultimately I'm pleased with that. I am spent. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have found it helpful and helped you strategize towards your race, let me know. If you want to see more of these in the future, or if you just prefer the live streams, let me know in the comments down below. We can definitely adjust things, and definitely with my videos, just like the live streams, I like to make improvements as we go along. So please remember, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and let me know what you think. And hit that bell button, get notifications, all that YouTube-y kind of stuff. And until next time, see ya.